Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, guide us in this meeting today. Help us to be respectful and to remember we are all here for the good of Cass County. Help us to make decisions using wisdom and knowledge. Bless all who came here tonight and their loved ones. Bring our armed forces safely home. Bless our country, our state, and beautiful Cass County. Amen.
Amen. Commissioner Langley.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Langley.
Here.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Here.
Commissioner Northrup.
Here.
Chair Jones.
Yep.
Commissioner Grice.
Here.
Commissioner Barrera.
Here.
Commissioner Marquetti.
Here.
And Commissioner Lee.
Here.
All right. Commissioner Northrup.
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
Support.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Public comments for agenda items only. You have 3 minutes. Agenda items only. Yeah.
My name is Melissa McKay, and I am here today as a resident of Cass County. I want to address an issue that has raised serious concern, not just within the village of Cassopolis, but across this county. The repurchase of the former Village Hall by the Cass County Land Bank Authority. Residents are trying to understand how a property that was previously sold ends up being repurchased, reportedly at a significantly higher cost, and how that aligns with the land bank's mission. Because from outside looking in, it doesn't resemble blight elimination or neighborhood stabilization. It raises a more difficult question. Are public resources being used to serve the community or to resolve problems created within the government itself? And that concern becomes even more serious when there is discussion of grant funding being used or pursued in connection with its purchase. Grant money is not extra money. They are public dollars with specific intent meant to improve housing, address blight, and invest in communities that need it. If those funds were being directed towards the repurchase of a government building, residents deserve to know how that use meets the intent of the funding, what criteria were used to justify the eligibility, and whether that decision reflects the best use of limited resources. Because every dollar used this way is a dollar that does not go toward neighborhoods that are actually struggling. This is why transparency here is not optional, it's essential. So today, I am formally putting on record that I have submitted a Freedom of Information Act request from the Cass County Land Bank Authority seeking full documentation related to this transaction, including purchase agreements and closing documents, appraisals and valuation records, all funding sources, including any agent grant funds used or applied for, communications between the land bank, the county, and the village, and all approvals and decision-making records tied to this purchase. This request is not about speculation. It is about establishing facts, because in this transaction is fully justified and compliant, then the documentation should support that, and it should be made available to the public without resistance. But if there are gaps, inconsistencies, or decisions that don't withstand scrutiny, the public has a right to know that as well. I am asking this commission to take this seriously and ensure that full transparency is provided, because situations like this don't just raise financial questions. They raise questions about judgment, oversight, accountability at the county level. Cass County residents are paying attention, and they expect that public funds, whether local dollars or grant funding, are used in a way that is not only technically allowable, but clearly justified to the people footing the bill. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? All right, we'll close the floor for public comment. We have recognitions. We have a resolution R17-2026, and our beautiful speaker,
Thank you, thank you. This is,
Yes, ma'am, please.
this resolution by the Board of Commissioners, it's in appreciation of animal control. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association designated the second full week of April as National Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. And whereas various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the county take this time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers and animal services staff for the dedicated service they provide to the citizens, public safety, and domestic animals and livestock across the nation. And whereas every day, animal control officers and animal control technicians put themselves in potentially dangerous situations to protect the health and welfare of all kinds of animals and the public. And whereas Cass County recognizes and commends the animal control personnel who answer calls for assistance, capture roaming and potentially dangerous animals, rescue animals, investigate reports of animal abuse, educate pet owners about responsible care, and mediate disputes between neighbors regarding pets. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Cass County Board of Commissioners hereby proclaims the week of April 11th through 17th, 2026 as Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. And I move we approve the resolution. And
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti,
yes,
Commissioner Langley,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yep.
Commissioner Barrera,
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup.
Yes.
And Commissioner Grice.
All right, resolution is approved. Ron, you gonna come up and,
Chair.
yes, ma'am?
Is it okay if I tell a little story about animal control?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's on his way up here. We're gonna embarrass him really good.
Okay, so here's my story. This happened a few years back, and Ron was, remember that? And so when I heard about it, I wanted to call and find out some of the details. He had to go home. He was already back at work. So that's what we have in Cass County. And here is this beautiful plaque for you. You're welcome. Get closer.
All right. Commissioner Langley is the second best voice that we have here. We'll let you do the next one. All right, for presentations, we have the material management presentation. I don't know who's doing that. There we are.
Hello.
Hey.
My name is Becca. I'm with the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission, and I have a couple of slides. I was wondering if those could. There's a clicker right there. Thank you. All right. So during this presentation, I'm going to give a little bit of a background about materials management. I'll talk about what has already been accomplished, what's left to accomplish, and then some next steps and recommendations. Should be pretty cut and dry. I'm going to maybe skim through a couple of the slides. Hopefully you had a chance to look at them beforehand. If not, you can look at them after. And then there will be time for questions. So back in 2023, the state updated Part 115. That is a statute that regulates solid waste management, and they're now calling them materials management plans. And the goal of this is to focus our ideas from sending things to landfill and thinking about capacity of landfills, and now starting to think about how can we divert materials from the landfill and give them a second use. A couple of reasons for this change include that the state realized that there were manufacturers in Michigan who use recycled materials, and they were having to import those from out of state. Not because Michigan doesn't have those materials, but because we were sending them to the landfills. So if we can capture those materials and then sell them back to manufacturers within Michigan, we can create more of a circular economy and support the businesses that exist here. Other reasons for these changes include that the state has a goal to have a recycling rate of 45%. They also want to reduce food waste to landfill by 50%. And then another reason is that they want more personnel on the local level to have an understanding of materials management, recycling, diversion, be able to answer those questions that come up at a local level, so we're not just relying on state resources to answer those kinds of questions. As part of this planning process, there are requirements for recycling access. So those requirements will be in the plan as goals, and those include having curbside recycling to single-family homes in urban areas, having curbside recycling in municipalities with over 5,000 residents, and then by 2029, the goal would like to achieve a 30% recycling rate. That's on its way to its 45%. I believe last year we were around 22, 23% at the state level. And then by 2032, there are requirements for drop-off recycling centers. Those are mainly for residents who do not have access to curbside, so that they still have access to recycling. So in 2024, the state initiated the planning process, and that began a 36-month countdown to write the plan and get it approved. So I'm going to really skip over this slide mostly. I'll cover most of it in another slide, but just to note that there is a timeline to all of this, and so we've been working hard at getting it started, and we're working through some of the various topics that are needed in the plan, and then there will be an approval process. So where have we been already? What has been accomplished? In May 2024, Cass County passed an interlocal agreement that is to work with Berrien and Van Buren counties to create a multi-county plan. I believe I came in front of the commission and gave a presentation back in probably 2023 about the benefits of working as a multi-county group. Also in that interlocal agreement, it appointed the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission to be the designated planning agency to write the plan and administer the Materials Management Planning Committee. In July 2024, Cass County submitted their notice of intent to EGLE, the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy, basically saying that you're going to write the plan. Then in October 2024, all three counties formed the Materials Management Planning Committee. And since then, we have had numerous presentations from various people within the recycling and waste and diversion realm. Those include presentations from haulers, landfill operators, materials recovery facility operators, electronics recyclers, and then county program managers that help with the various programs that counties have. This was to provide some base knowledge for the planning committee so that they can make good decisions on what the counties will be working toward in the future. Then in July 2025, all three counties received grant funding from the state to do this work, and that funding is available to cover costs back to January of 2024. So this is not an unfunded thing that's happening. There is funding from the state. In early 2026, the Materials Management Planning Committee has drafted recycling and organics goals. We're still working through a little bit of the details on those, but they're mostly drafted and ready to be dropped into a draft plan. And then from November of 2025 through January 2026, we did a public survey of the three counties, and we received over 1,000 responses, which was an excellent number to get for three counties. I've done surveys of three counties and gotten less than 100. So I was very pleased to have over 1,000 responses. What is yet to come? So some of the things we still have yet to accomplish before we have a draft plan is funding mechanisms. That's a requirement of the plan for counties to think about how to fund future programs. Siting criteria so that the facilities that are needed to meet the county's goals can be cited and exist. There's some more data gathering. There will always be more data gathering to happen, but there's still some more before we can finish off the draft plan. And then, as I mentioned, there's an approval process that's 11 months long if everything goes smoothly. So what is the approval process? September 2026, the goal is to have a draft plan that the Materials Management Planning Committee will approve. It will then go out for public comment. There will be a public hearing. And then the Planning Committee will direct the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission on any changes they would like made in the plan based on public comment. And then they will approve the edited draft plan. After that, it will come to each county board of commissioners. On here it says CAA, that's the county approval agency. It's the board of commissioners. So you all will approve it. And then the plan will go out to every municipality in the 3-county region, and they will have an opportunity to approve the plan. Of those that decide to approve it, 2/3 need to approve it. Or of those that decide to vote on it, 2/3 need to approve it in order for it to be sent to Eagle. If we do not get 2/3 of the municipalities to approve the plan, Eagle will write the plan for the counties. So once we have that approval, we will submit it to Eagle.
Can I hold you up there for a second? When you said it'll come to us and then go to the other municipalities, will it be in that order, or does it come out to everybody at the same time, or they're waiting on us, like if we approve it or don't approve it, then they might not or might? Or
It will come to the Board of Commissioners first.
Here.
It is not until after the Board of Commissioners have approved it that it will go out
to the other?
to the municipalities, correct?
All right.
Yep.
And because I misunderstood that, I thought it came to us and then maybe Van Buren commissioners or Berrien commissioners or some other commissioners, but it's us first.
It'll go to all 3 Board of Commissioners at the same time.
There we
Yes,
go.
they'll all,
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
all 3 will get the same plan to approve.
Got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, so as I mentioned, there is grant funding. Cass County for the first 3 years has access to $95,800 rounding. Of that funding, the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission has requested $80,000, and Cass County has not requested any additional funding on top of that for administrative or other educational and outreach opportunities. As I mentioned, there are 3 rounds that the state has said will exist. The state and I are encouraging the counties to request as much funding as possible. At this point, the second round is open, so they're amending the previous grant agreement to add additional funding. And I would encourage counties to find ways to use that money, whether it's contracting with another consultant to do education and outreach, whether that's hiring someone on county staff to do education and outreach. It is important to be thinking about it now because the funding is available now. There is a chance that there will be funding later. It's written in the statute, but with state appropriations, you never know. So the more that the county can request now, the better. And the more opportunities you'll have in the future for education and outreach because that funding will be allocated. So just a couple of last comments that I want to make. Implementation of this plan, we're thinking 10 years out, right? Maybe 20 years. Things are going to look very different in the waste stream in the 3-county region. We may have communities with curbside food waste. We may have drop-off food waste in some communities. Ideally, a lot of houses, or most of the houses, have access to either curbside recycling or drop-off recycling that's not a 20-minute drive from their house. The goal is to make it easy to divert different materials from the landfills and allow manufacturers and other sources to have those materials and make additional income off of that. So the implementation of all of this is going to require a lot of collaboration. It's going to require collaboration with the surrounding counties and with municipalities. The funding mechanism, which I mentioned earlier, there are some that are better done at a county level and some that are better done at a local level. The education and siting also can be done really well at a local level because you know your residents. You know who lives in your community and you know what's going to work. So just thinking about how to engage those local municipalities now is very important. I understand we're all busy. There's like so many projects happening that this is just one more, but if you have an opportunity to talk to even 1 or 2 of the municipalities that you represent, talk about this. That'll go miles when we are going to them seeking approval of the draft plan. We don't want anything to be a surprise. I would like to show up and be able to talk about the plan and them have at least heard of it once, maybe twice before. So this is not a big surprise when I show up and ask them to approve this big plan. So just be thinking about how to engage your municipalities and the future collaboration that'll be required to implement this plan. And then my last recommendation is just to use all the grant funding available whenever possible. So if you can find other ways to use that funding, even if even if it's for a capital improvement project related to recycling or education outreach or hiring staff or hiring a consultant, I would recommend considering those as options. And then I do have Mandy, who's going to come up and say a few words before I take any questions. And Mandy is actively engaged in the Materials Management Planning Committee, and she serves on the Policy Working Group for the committee.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Mandy Wallace. I'm here in a couple capacities as far as my interest in materials management. I am a resident of Wayne Township, where I serve as a trustee of the Township Board. And I'm also, together with my husband, a local business owner of a business in the trash industry. We're considered a hauler as far as materials management is concerned. So all of this is very important to us because it affects our livelihood. So I just want to comment on a couple of things that Becca said, because I want to make sure that you are hearing it from a citizen and a local business owner about why this is important. I realize that you all have a lot on your plate, and talking about trash and compost and recycling is not the most exciting thing in the world to most people. But there are a couple of points that Becca made, one of them being the financial aspect. We're talking about a lot of money when it comes to materials management and future implications of a lot of money. So being able to make sure, first of all, that we all understand what's even being talked about here and how it affects us is important. And being able to use that grant money for education, I think, is vital. You all probably know, as well as I do, that in this area, not everyone understands proper waste stream protocol and what shouldn't go to landfills and what can be recycled and what can be composted. Being able to start educating the public on some of those things will serve us very well in the years to come as these regulations roll out from the state, because I would have to say, in my opinion, we're not going backwards. It's only going to get more and more strict as time goes on. The second point is what she said about the potential for Eagle to come in and write our plan. So just to reiterate briefly, if this plan, which all of these resources are being put into, these people like Commissioner Grice that are going to these monthly meetings and putting in all of this effort to come up with this plan, once that plan goes out, if it does not get approved, and the state, Michigan Eagle, ends up writing our plan for us, that affects our entire county. That affects all of the taxpayers. It affects all of the townships, because then we're just at their mercy, and we have to do what they tell us to do down to the dot, even more than we already are. So as a business owner, as a hauler, I already am subject to a lot of state and federal reporting, and I really would hate to see the state telling me even more ways of how I have to run my business than they already do. So my point is, I realize you're busy. Please try to take the time to understand what this is and how it affects all of us, and then take that information to the townships, please. I'm finding that most of the townships don't know what materials management is. They don't know what is coming down the pipeline to them. And if we are able to use you as a resource from the Materials Management Committee to get to the townships and let them know what this is and what the future implications are, we believe the likelihood is much higher that they will approve the plan. And that's the goal, is that we're all on the same page, the plan gets approved, we get to keep the local control of that. Thank you. Stay for any questions.
If you want. Any questions about this whole thing?
Anybody have anything? So Commissioner Grice is on that committee, so I'm going to direct them to you, Mandy. Yeah.
That wasn't the intention.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next for presentations, we have the Whole Home Performance Pilot presentation with Jeremy Newberg and Ross Woods of Capital Access Incorporated.
Good afternoon. I'm Jeremy, owner of Capital Access. That's Ross Woods over there. And we come to you through a HUD technical assistance assignment. At Capital Access, we do two things. We do analyze and advise consulting in housing and community development. We try to demystify all the subsidy to make it accessible and actionable for communities. We speak HUD. In addition, we run home repair programs in Pennsylvania, both as a program manager and a prime general contractor. I'm coming to you as a consultant, working for HUD and working with MISHDA. The whole home performance model is a delivery system to bring home repair, hazard remediation, and energy efficiency upgrades into one single project for low and moderate income homeowners. And in Cass County, for a family of 4, 80% of median income is $73,700. 50% of median is $46,000, okay? So most low-income housing home repair programs tend to serve very low-income homeowners because that's how the subsidy is designed. With this program, we want to serve the moderate income as much as the low income because home repair is complex, unfortunately. The funding's complex, and any house has 10 to 15,000 different items if you count all the nails and screws. And the reason why we call it whole home performance is to deal with the basic systems issues, to remove hazards, especially lead, radon, asbestos, if it's an underground fuel tank, and then make the house more energy efficient. Utility bills are only rising, and we can do more to preserve and make home ownership more affordable. That's the goal, to bring it under one structure. The benefit with the whole home performance program is that it's a comprehensive solution for homeowners where it's one project, one budget, one contractor, one case manager. And right now, unfortunately, there's lead funding, there's weatherization, there's an accessibility grant, there's an emergency repair, but it's very piecemeal and fragmented. And the idea is to bring it under one structure. I want to thank Hope Anderson for her leadership with the land bank and just serving as treasurer because she got the attention of MISHDA. And MISHDA has committed $1.2 million in community development block grant for this program. We're going to assume a budget of $75,000 a house to do it properly. I mean, you could spend $25,000 just on a roof right now. Construction costs have increased radically over the last, really since COVID. And most home repair programs are capped around $25,000. So you need a larger budget. So in phase 1, the goal is to do 30 homes. And so already 1.2 million of the 2,250,000 has been secured. And we're going to work with Hope and her team to get all the other funding secured through local foundation, local utility, local bank contributions. The goal is in phase 2 to do another 60. And I want to encourage all of you, I spoke with Mr. Lawrence, set a big goal for a decade. What needs to be done over a decade for home repair and energy retrofits in Cass County? I believe when the why is clear, the hows emerge. I believe in setting big, hairy, impossible goals. And if you put the platform together the way we're planning to do it, funders are going to come to you. What Michigan needs for housing and community development is local program management capacity. And what Hope and the Land Bank and the Community Foundation and the utilities and the banks are prepared to do is put a remarkable partnership together to build the capacity. And what that means for the homeowner is it's a comprehensive solution. It's going to protect their home value. It's going to increase their affordability. It's going to improve the neighborhood where they live. It's going to cut red tape. It's going to streamline the process and bring more dignity to the home repair process. I run 3 home repair programs in Bucks County, Philadelphia, and Montgomery County. I don't like how complex it is, but I have to acknowledge how complex it is. I'm interested in streamlining. and it's been an honor to work with Cass County so far, to be willing public-private partners and social entrepreneurs. This is going to be a wonderful opportunity for contractors to get a steady book of business and for labor. And I think it's going to be an incredible economic development opportunity for the county. It's an absolute honor to be here. If you have any questions, happy to respond.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions, comments? Thank you, sir. Very good. All right, next we have the Cass County Land Bank Authority for 117 South Broadway project update.
Before I jump into 117, I'll just remind the board that the reason that the Cass County Land Bank got involved with homeowner repair was because we don't have a housing agency in our county. And when Southwestern Michigan Community Action Agency was awarded My Hope funding, which gave $25,000 worth of homeowner rehab for energy efficiency upgrades, they turned the money down. That money was supposed to cover Cass County. So the Cass County Land Bank was able to secure $975,000, and we did 42 houses. Never before had we done anything like that. We did it so well with the help of many partners that we received awards from MISTA. And now MISTA has recommended us for a pilot program. So I just wanted to remind everyone how we got to where we're at right now. The Cass County Land Bank doesn't want to forever be the housing agency for the county. We'd like to grow some other groups in the county that will help, perhaps some other entities that could step up. But for now, we're honored that we were chosen for that pilot program. Now I'd like to go ahead and give you an update on the Land Bank's rehabilitation of 117 South Broadway in downtown Cassopolis. It is exciting to see the progress happening right across the street from our building. I'm happy to report that this project remains on schedule for completion by July 31st of 2026. This is a very impactful project for our community. We are creating 7 new residential units, including 2 two-bedroom units with balconies and 5 one-bedroom units. Each unit will have an in-unit washer and dryer. The building will be fully sprinklered, and we have installed all new windows and insulation to improve energy efficiency. We have also completed significant asbestos abatement, kind of more than we had ever planned, which was a critical step, though, to ensure a healthy environment for the future tenants. These units will serve households at 80% of area median income, which is approximately $51,000 for a single individual. This is true workforce housing that meets a real need in Cass County. I also want to highlight the level of public interest we are already seeing. We receive at least 2 calls every week from residents who are asking about these apartments. Many of them share that they have been actively looking for housing in Cass County so that they can be closer to their jobs or closer to their families. That kind of response reinforces that this project is meeting a real and immediate need in our community. The design firm on this project was Abbenmarsh Bice, and the prime contractor is DJ Construction. The main floor of this and basement has been cleared out, and we're continuing to evaluate the best use of that space to complement the housing and support this downtown revitalization. The acquisition and rehabilitation of this building are 100% grant funded. There are no county general fund dollars being used for this project. This project is supported by a state land bank authority blight elimination program grant, round 4 grant of approximately $2.5 million, along with an additional $250,000 that we just received as an increase from the State Land Bank, and another $500,000 from the Cassopolis Main Street Facade Grant. The Michigan legislature allocated $75 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds to expand the state's blight elimination program. These funds are distributed by the State Land Bank Authority to revitalize communities and grow the economy. As you know, Cass County Land Bank Authority participated in all 4 rounds of the blight elimination program. We are now down to 1 project in round 3 and this project in round 4. Overall, grant funding received for those grants for round 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 were $4,377,923.87. This was a highly competitive statewide process. Back in December of 2023, we submitted a detailed application with the Cass County Board of Commissioners authorization outlining the project scope, budget, site control, environmental conditions, and our capacity to manage this project. Applications were evaluated based on community impact, public safety, local support, and housing outcomes. Historically, grants of this size are often awarded to larger, more urban land banks. We are very proud and fortunate that Cass County was selected. Overall, this project is a strong example of how we are leveraging outside funding to bring in new housing, improve safety, and invest in Cass County. This project is doing exactly what the program was designed to do. It is taking a long vacant building, addressing serious health and safety concerns, and converting it into 7 housing units. At the end of the day, this is about making sure Cass County benefits from the resources that were made available to communities like ours and using them in a way that creates real, lasting impact. Leasing information for these apartments will be posted on the Cass County website. At this point, we don't have a waiting list. We are designing all of the lease agreements and finalizing the lease agreements, the policies, the rental application process, establishing the income eligibility and verification procedures. But if anyone should have any questions, they can reach out to me, and we will keep the county updated on the county website. Do you have any questions or comments?
Any questions for our treasurer?
Yes, Treasurer Hope. Just want to say, just thank you for everything you do. You bring a level of professionalism and passion to every project you get involved in, and I appreciate just seeing that. I do have a few questions regarding this project, if you don't mind. Just so the record is clear, what was the fair market value of the property in 2024 when the land bank acquired it?
When the land bank acquired this property, the property as assessed was $916,570. It was listed by Cressy and Everett for $725,000. The building had been completely vacant since 2020 when the village of Cassopolis moved to its new municipal complex. The street level of the building, which at one time housed a medical facility and a bank, it had been completely unoccupied since 2015. We purchased it for $600,000.
So the property is worth $916,000. It was on the market for $725,000, and you guys were able to secure it for $600,000. It's
Yes, sir.
amazing work. Despite the assessed value, the building had been listed on the market for $725,000. Could you remind us how long the building had been vacant and what impact it had on the condition by the time it was purchased?
Well, as you know, you can't keep a building vacant for that long. We knew that with this building that we're in right now. There comes a time where you have to do something with the building. And like I said, that first floor and the basement had been unoccupied since 2015. The village offices were on that second floor, but they had left that in 2020. So when they sold it in 2020, nothing was done. It had been completely vacant until the land bank purchased it in 2024.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Turn your mic on.
Hope, just a question. When is the goal to have it open and rented?
So it'll be finished the end of July, but we do have to work through all the legal documents to make sure it's a fair and transparent process for applicants, because there are so many people interested. So I would say maybe by the end of the year, we'll be able to have some people call that home.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Are you keeping a list of people that are interested in it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Anybody else? Thank you, Hope.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank you.
All right. Vice Chair Lawrence.
Mr. Chair, I move to
to approve April 9th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Marquetti?
Yes.
Commissioner Langley?
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence?
Yes.
Chair Jones?
Yep.
Commissioner Barrera?
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup? Commissioner Grice?
Yes.
And Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
All right. Our financial report's in the packet. Do we have any questions about our financial report? All right, hearing none, we'll move on forward. Commissioner reports, District 1.
Yes. After last week's meeting, commission meeting, I received a text from somebody, and basically it stated that our chair was a bully, and I do not believe that one bit. Since he's been chair, he has not shown any of that tendency. He hasn't thrown his temper or anything during any of our meetings. And the person also wanted to know why the commissioners, when they go to like the GOP committees meetings, that they do not bring this up. Well, personally, I will not do that, because I will not talk bad about any commissioner that's on this panel, any administrator or any other department head, elected official or otherwise. It's if you have a problem with somebody, go talk to them. Sometimes the chair and I, we don't agree on something, we talk about it, and it's taken care of. So like I said, if you have a problem, talk to them.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
it.
District 2.
I would like to announce again that if you know anyone who would like to join the Wayne Township Fire Department as a fireman, send them over to the fire department to pick up an application, and those are usually at Wednesday night, first and third Wednesday night of the month, and they can pick an application up. And I also want to tell you that last week I did say something about if somebody would like to go in, if you want to go into a burning building, join the fire department. I want you to understand that they just do not send people in to burning buildings that have not been completely trained. And that training takes quite some time. So I want you to understand that. But if you'd like to drive a great big red fire truck, go get an application. That's a lot of fun, especially with the sirens on. Love it.
You're going to get emails about that now.
Also, I have a report from the Wayne Township meeting last time, and I'm going to let Roseanne read it, and it's about data centers.
Thank you, Jim. This is from April 6th, 2026, and it's titled Data Center Speculations. Currently, there is a lot of emotion regarding data centers in Cass County. This is understandable, as it is uncharted territory for most. However, myself and the Wayne Township Board would respectfully ask that the general public slow down, take a deep breath, and be more diligent in making speculations and assumptions. As a board, we are collectively aware that there are rumors that a local business, Michigan Diecast, is in the process of being sold to hyperscale data, presumably as an extension to their existing facility in the city of Dowagiac. It has directly been stated by this rumor mill that the speculation is based solely on the acreage available at that location and not much more. Myself and other board members chose to investigate the rumors and attempt to verify or dispel the allegations. I personally reviewed the Cass County website with regard to property tax parcel numbers. This is public information. I found that a sale of Michigan Diecast had occurred on March 27, 2026, which is contrary to the claim that the sale to hyperscale would be occurring within 60 days. Furthermore, I noted that the new owner is Midwest Aero Parts Realty Holdings of Greenville, South Carolina. I followed that up with a review of Midwest Aero Parts. Through the Milwaukee Business Journal, I found that they had recently purchased another die-cast facility in Chicago. Midwest Aero Parts is an affiliate of Ranger Aerospace, another South Carolina corporation that specializes in aerospace operations and aviation services. I could find no connection between either company or any discussion of data centers. None. Another board member contacted upper management at Michigan Diecast to discuss the rumor. The board member was advised that there was a recent company sale. However, no change from their format of diecast work is on the horizon, and they intend to continue doing diecast work. Clearly, it only takes a small amount of legitimate review to garner a more knowledgeable and accurate awareness of the circumstances rather than just speculation. The township is diligently working through the Planning Commission to address the future of data centers in our community. We can only address what occurs within our township. We cannot control who sells their property or who buys it. What can be regulated to a point is our zoning ordinances. We are working to strengthen those with regard to data centers as well as other ever-changing issues. Our master plan is very clear that our priority is to run our rural agricultural community. It is the desire of your township board to honor and maintain that philosophy. We would simply ask that you give us the grace to attempt to do so without spreading unnecessary fears and distractions. Sincerely, David A. Davis, Wayne Township Supervisor.
Thank you, Roseanne. Appreciate that very much. And during that meeting, it was a very good meeting. And I am a part of Michigan Diecast. I worked there for 38 years. It was Consolidated Diecast back then. So I know the person that's running that really good, and I have a brother-in-law that's working there. And when I first heard that, I contacted them and said, hey, what's going on? And they said, well, another diecast facility has bought us out. Okay, then why am I hearing that a data center bought it out? So speculation is something that, if we can, please cease, because you need information. So if you need information, it's public, just like he said. You can find it on the public website. We're going to try to get this posted on our website so that it's available to all Cass County. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. District 3. Nothing. District 5. Nothing. District 6.
Nothing at this time.
District 7.
I just have a couple of things really quickly. Since we are getting a very well-done monthly report from the Health Department, there really isn't any need for me to give a report, since both Jeremiah and I are on the Health Department board. But I just want to say one thing, and that is our health doctor, Dr. Weil, he is very concerned about measles. And there were 8 cases of measles on the east side of the state. We have not had any, but he highly recommends that people recognize that it's rampant without that measles vaccination. So if the incubation period is 21 days, so you can be around someone who has measles and you might not get them for 21 days. And then if you do have measles, you're only contagious for 4 days, which I thought was amazing. But at any rate, that's from the Health Department. Second thing is, of course, you know that we had, a week ago this Saturday, our used tires and hazardous waste and used electronics. I want to thank Al Northrop and Sam for their help. We had over 260 vehicles. We know we had more than that because some of them came. We didn't get there until shortly after 9. And so we know that there were more people there, and every now and then somebody slips through and we don't find out where they're from. It was a rainy day, but, and I will have, Ambrosia gave us a report on the tonnage of the hazardous waste, and I will have that for you. We're going to meet with Bob Thompson and Babita OMB, and Jen has offered to meet with us, and we're going to take a look at how we can make it better. What else can we do? This time we had a lot of different pieces of junk. We had metal, and we had an old boat, and that isn't exactly what we intended to take, but if we have to take things like that, we, we will. And another thing is that I learned on the materials management is that cardboard boxes, people don't know how to get rid of cardboard boxes, and if they get big deliveries and they get big boxes, they don't know what to do with them. So we'll take a look at it, and if you have any suggestions for us, please. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Lee.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Calvin, Porter, and Mason Township all met Tuesday night. The data center portion was a discussion. I would say it was well managed, well talked about, and a lot of those people attended our information presentation that we had. I would strongly encourage people to watch that. It did a very good job of presenting information. I would say as unbiased as could be. Here is what it is. Here's these different forms. Here's the potential risks. A very good, clean thing to do. All three townships want to make sure that they're looking at it thoroughly. They're going to take their time to make sure that they cover all their bases. So that was kind of it wasn't a huge topic, but it was discussed at all three.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. No county partners. Madam Clerk, as usual, you will be number one.
Real quick, news in the Clerk and Register of Deeds office. We moved to brand new software last Tuesday in both the Clerk and the Register of Deeds offices. Big undertaking. Staff was fabulous, as was our neighboring departments that use our software, GIS, Treasure, and Equalization, and our IT department, phenomenal support. We're still working out some kinks, but it's going to be a better service to the public, which is what we're always looking for. And the wonderful thing is it's cheaper for us as well. So it's a win-win. Also, we have filing deadlines for the August primary. Partisan candidates filing deadline is Tuesday, April 21st by 4 p.m. Thankfully, commissioners don't have to file every 2 years, but we do have quite a few local offices that were vacated, and any of those offices that were vacated have to appear on this ballot. If you have any questions, let me know.
All right, and I'll reiterate the IT department. We should list them next to the gold and silver and platinum on the Dow Jones because they're worth their weight. You know. All right, Prosecutor.
Good evening. Leadership from the board in terms of public safety is essential from each of you. And respectfully, it is something that we still are not seeing. On March 10th, we met and alerted the administrator of the potential loss of a highly coveted and important litigator, Jason Ronning, as well as potentially others. And I know I've talked about this before, but this is just a brief recap. You were alerted about this issue just a few days later. It was driven by chronic attorney shortage in the nation, which overwhelmingly is a compensation-driven solution at its core. Our request for a timely meeting from the administrator and the board was met with no compensation solution from you. The specific response after days of requesting a response on this time-sensitive issue was, there is no additional compensation proposal from the administration beyond the current salary and benefits. I do not support and will not propose increases outside the normal step progression. The administrator also did acknowledge that while the board has the authority to act on this issue, she will not bring forward a recommendation for step increases in this instance. After many days and weeks and absolutely no compensation solution being provided by the administration or the commissioner majority, our office took the reluctant but necessary step with little choice but to come before the commissioners meeting and do what this body is intended to facilitate, initiate a frank discussion and provide important information to the public regarding this highly concerning matter. Both myself and my entire attorney staff spoke about the attorney retention crisis, which is descending upon the prosecutor's office. After last week's board meeting, the chair proposed that we meet with him, the vice chair, me, and possibly the sheriff to discuss this highly concerning law enforcement issue. It was tentatively set to occur on Monday at 12:30 p.m. Interestingly, this is almost identical to the group that met in Berrien County to successfully come up with a solution to their assistant prosecutor crisis. More on that in a moment. But, Mr. Chair, this meeting that you suggested did not happen. This, again, is a lack of leadership. I know you received a letter from the chair of the Berrien County Board of Commissioners, Mac Elliott. Let me paraphrase some of the items he speaks to. I will also have my assistant aide and trainer hand out this copy to the board, as well as anybody in the audience that wants to see it this time. Dear Mr. Jones, and this is a paraphrase, 3 years ago, the executive committee of the board, that being the chairman, and this is of Berrien County, the chairman, the vice chair, and the chairs of finance, administration, and personnel, met with then prosecuting attorney Steve Perangeli to discuss the loss of staff attorneys due to non-competitive wages. As I recall, 2 assistant prosecutors were recruited by Ottawa County prosecutor. Another might have gone to Van Buren County. After reviewing the wage and benefit data, we determined that a mid-year adjustment was needed for all of the prosecutors in Mr. Perangeli's office. I was only asking for 2 and now 1. This was done immediately to achieve salary parity with comparable counties, a 5% increase across the board. A follow-up adjustment was done later that year, and we continue to monitor these matters on an annual basis. The goal is to attract and retain highly skilled prosecuting attorneys. When businesses, organizations, public or private, lose experienced professional staff, there is a concomitant loss of institutional memory, and this is simply bad business. Given the stakes in the criminal justice system, we remain determined to provide the necessary resources to maintain a roster of prosecuting attorneys who have the right stuff, namely the knowledge, training, and skills to ensure that bad actors are held legally accountable. And as an aside, I know this is what the 51,000 constituents here in Cass County want as well. The safety of the public demands nothing less. We have used millage-based special funds to further enhance public safety, which includes actually the prosecutor's office. And I know from talking to the prosecutor over there, their millage, the majority of it goes to the prosecutor's office. We also use contingency funds when appropriate. It's worth it because of the direct correlation of the quality of life for our constituents. Very truly yours, Commissioner McKinley Elliott. Again, respectfully, this is the type of commissioner leadership that we need here in Cass County. Thank you.
Treasurer. Sheriff, good. Drain Commissioner, it's raining like a mug out there. I know he's busy. All right, new business. M60 2026, a motion to approve the policing contract between the Cass County Sheriff's Office and Silver Creek Township Board, corresponding budget adjustment.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve that.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 2, R15 2026, it's a resolution to adopt the 2026 equalization report as submitted.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I move we approve this resolution.
Support.
Motion on the floor and support. We all got that in our boxes and everything. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I would like to thank Tammy Stewart because, again, it was just beautifully done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's an asset to the county. Anything else? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Langley,
Yes.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yep.
Commissioner Barrera.
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup. Commissioner Grice.
Yes.
Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
And Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Number 3, R16 2026, resolution authorizing entry into a participation agreement for the 6 remnant defendants' national opioid settlement.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move resolution authorizing entry into a participation agreement for the 6 remnant defendants' national opioid settlement.
Second.
Motion on the floor and support. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Yes.
Chair Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Barrera.
Yes.
Commissioner Northrup.
Yes.
Commissioner Grice.
Yes.
Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes.
And Commissioner Langley.
Yes.
Resolution passes. All right, we're moving into public comment. This is also a limit to 3 minutes per person. The floor is now open.
Hello,
Hi.
again, Melissa McKay. I'm here today, additionally, because there is a growing and very serious concern in this county that cannot continue to be ignored. Multiple allegations involving potential misconduct, record destruction, and failures in public accountability have brought forward. Yet there has been no clear, transparent action from the prosecutor's office against them. When issues of this magnitude are raised, the public expects more than silence. They expect diligence, independence, and a visible commitment to the rule of law. Instead, what we are seeing is inaction. This lack of response does more than stall an investigation. It erodes public trust. It sends a message to residents that accountability may depend on who you are, not what was done. And this is just unacceptable. The role of a prosecutor is not discretionary when it comes to credible allegations of wrongdoing involving public officials or public records. It is a duty. And when that duty appears to be neglected, it becomes a matter of public concern that raises to your level. So I'm asking this commission, what oversights exist when the prosecutor declines to act? What steps will you take to ensure these allegations are independently reviewed? And how will you restore public confidence that no one in this county is above scrutiny? Because at the end of the day, this is not about politics, it's about integrity. It's about whether the system is in place to protect the public and actually functioning. The residents of Vandalia deserve answers. They deserve transparency, and they deserve action. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I had breakfast with this guy.
I'm just here to, by the way, I'm Larry Barrett, precinct delegate of Heller Township. When I heard this last month or so about the controversy between the prosecutors and the board, I thought I might be able to get involved to help, and that's what I'm doing here. And all I'm doing here right now is giving you a little update of what I'm involved in. My plan is to basically talk with anybody who is opposed to working hard at giving our prosecutors some higher pay. My plan is to talk to all those who are opposed to that and find out exactly where you're coming from individually in an atmosphere that is certainly a good atmosphere, let's say, one-on-one. And I spoke with Jeremiah Jones on Saturday. I had a meeting with Prosecutor Fitz on Monday. Sam Barrera did get back to me, and we're getting together on Monday. And I just spoke with Jennifer Renfro, and she's very happy to meet also. So I'm just starting out. It may take a little longer doing it this way, but my idea is to get everybody's ideas, find out what you want, and find out what the prosecutors want. And I really think we can come to a win-win situation. So I just wanted to say that, and I'll be working hard at it and looking forward to meeting with any of you and many of you going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Floor is still open. All right, the floor is closed. District 1, anything?
Nothing.
2,
I think I'm good.
3, 5, 6, 7.
6.
No, 6. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
Just.
Whoops. Yeah.
I was going to let you go ahead. It's okay. I'll be real quick. So just want to state clearly for the record that this board does value the work of the prosecutor's office and recognizes its importance to its mission. Our intent has always been to act as a responsible partner while balancing the needs of the entire county. I'll say this again, At the request of the elected officials, this board authorized and completed a comprehensive classification and compensation study. That study followed an established methodology and was reviewed through the proper channels and was accepted prior to implementation. The results of compensation adjustments went into effect almost 6 months ago. If compensation decisions were changed every time someone threatened to quit or leave, the result would be unstable, and it wouldn't be something that this board can accept. Also, comparing us to other counties, we have to follow our own established processes. Cass County must govern consistently, responsibly, and in a manner that applies equally to all departments. Public safety is critical, and no one disputes that, but protecting the public also requires maintaining a compensation system that is structured, predictable, and sustainable rather than reactive to pressure or circumstances. This board has made its decision. The decision was made in good faith with clear understanding, and compensation is tied into that position, not to the individual. Going forward, we should focus on working within the framework and moving ahead productively rather than continuing to revisit settled policies. Thank you.
District 7.
I just wanted to say that this afternoon from 2 until almost 5 o'clock, I was on the call. Sam and Jim were here in the chambers for the whole home program. And I have to say that that's probably the 5th meeting that I've attended. I've attended the meeting, the very first meeting, like from day one. And this meeting today, it was long, but it was extremely important because those two gentlemen, they took everything that we had heard before and they pulled it all together, and it's all organized and laid out. And initially, the first time I heard of it, I thought, oh, we'll never be able to do that. Well, just from today, I could see we can do that. We can.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. District 8.
Nothing at this time.
All right. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned.